The Fantasy Holics Podcast.
Jackson takes it himself, looking in dirt, back and forth. Oh, he broke his ankles. Now he's got an entourage, and he's got a touchdown.
Your source for all things fantasy. So fill up your cup, sit back, and enjoy.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Holics Podcast. And we are in the middle of our NBA mini-series. Essentially what we're doing is we're breaking down an NBA prospect while we have no games going on, and we're looking forward to the NBA draft. So we're breaking down one prospect in each episode. Today we are talking about Precious Achiuwa, who I practice that a lot just so I go on the record. I've watched him play a few games at Memphis, but I wasn't paying close enough attention to how I would pronounce his name. So I think I got that right, Precious Achiuwa. So my name is Jordan Jaika, aka Dr. Fantasy, and I am here with my co-host today, Zach. Zach, you ready to talk about Precious?
Yes, and like you, this is what I was most looking forward to, so I can make sure I get his name right. So.
And I'm excited that we're doing this NBA series too, because we've been talking, and from our chat, and I've been doing some NFL and MLB podcasts, and I'm really excited to switch it up a little bit here. We had a ton of NFL draft talk. I'm ready to move beyond that and move to other sports, so I'm excited that we're doing the NBA one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one for sure. I mean, a lot of NFL talk and a lot of baseball coming out recently, so it'd be nice for us to cover. For us to cover all our bases.
Yep, and before I forget, this is presented by the Fantasy Holics, so make sure you like us on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Our new website is thefantasyholics.com, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. But let's get into Precious here. So he's a 5-star recruit going into Memphis. Penny Hardaway built a very interesting, and we were talking about this before we started recording, but I really wish that they got to play a full college season because I think him and Wiseman could have been a really interesting combination. So a little disappointing that we didn't get to see them, as both of them are heading to the NBA, but he's a very athletic guy, tremendous upside. And that's what I think you're going to hear us say about a lot of these prospects, is a lot of them are raw, but in this class, I think Precious is he's more of one of the least raw prospects, I would say. I think he's ready to contribute, at least as a role player right away on an NBA roster. He's got a big frame, 6'9", 225, could probably add a little bit of muscle, but he has a 7'2" wingspan, which is absolutely NBA ready. Just to go over his statistics quick, he averaged 15.8 points, 10.8 rebounds, had an assist, almost a 50% field goal percentage, and 2 blocks a game. So really stuffed his stat sheet and was a really nice big man for Memphis.
Yeah, and like you said, I think it would have been interesting to see what those numbers would have been had he been next to Wiseman the entire season. That's kind of just quick. I think Memphis probably would have been the best team in the country had they played together a full season. So, but see, it is what it is.
Yep. Yeah. No. So going into it too, I already mentioned he's very athletic. He's got the size. He has a ton of upside. One of the things that you really don't see on the stat sheet is he really gives you a ton of effort and is a really intense player each and every night. So that's something you always like to see in a young guy. He's not lazy. He really is an intense player. He's a great rebounder, kind of the opposite. We talked about Patrick Williams last time not being aggressive. Precious is very aggressive. He's got solid ball handling skills for a big man. So, there's a lot to like, but what have you seen that might be a weakness?
I mean, his shot selection, I would say. I mean, I know that's kind of like a cop out with a lot of not a lot of, you don't get a lot of prospects that have great shot selection.
Yep.
But yeah, I would probably go with his shot selection that has been questionable to me.
Yeah. Only other thing I would say as far as weaknesses too, and you already mentioned a lot of young players struggle with their shot selection. It's always something you can work on. One of the things is he turns over the ball a lot, and I was just looking it up. He averaged almost 3 turnovers a game. I mean, that's a ton for a big man. A big man
Oh,
doesn't have the ball in their hands enough to be turning the ball over that much. So he's definitely going to have to work on that at the next level. And not to mention, I think the trend in the NBA is really having that stretch big man that shoots the outside jumper. That's not something he's going to do. He's more of a traditional four, I'd say, kind of down low, blocking shots, getting rebounds. So, it'll be interesting to see where he fits because I don't think he really is a modern NBA kind of player. But with his size, he's definitely going to find a role.
yeah, and yeah. Quickly going off of that. I mean, the fact that he's such a good defender, and the fact that he can guard multiple positions, even though he's not like a traditional four, you would say. The fact that he could defend so well and his versatility, it's gonna make him a solid NBA player.
Where do you have him going as far as what do you think the best fit is for him?
I would say the Cavs. I mean, next to Andre Drummond, you put that front court, and then you have all those younger guys the Cavs have that shoot the ball. I think you put that lineup together, and that would be a fun lineup to watch. I would like to see Precious and Drummond in the front court, and then you got all those young guys with Cleveland. I think that would make for a fun team to watch.
Yeah, no, and that would be an interesting fit because I think Cleveland has a lot of young pieces, and we'll see where they go the next few years. But I think that's a team to keep an eye out on. I have him going to the Trailblazers for similar reasons to you. I think that he needs a strong five guy next to him because he's 6'9". He doesn't quite have that size to be a traditional center. So I think he fits in well next to a guy like Whiteside. Obviously they have Lillard and McCollum at the guard position, so they're set there. Strong playmakers around him, and I think that allow him to really sit down in the paint. Probably when Whiteside's not on the court, you probably don't want both those guys clogging up the court at the same time, but I think he'd offer a strong presence off the bench there for him, and that falls right about, we haven't really talked about this yet either, but and a lot of NBA mocks have him going right around 12, 13, 14. I saw a few that had him in the mid-20s, but it seems like based on his upside in this class, he's kind of been moving up draft board. So right now I'm looking, the Trailblazers have the 14th pick, so kind of fits right into that range right now. So that's where I see him going. Do you have an NBA comp for him?
I would. This is a bit of a tougher one, but I'm gonna probably go Mo Harkless, one of the similar to what you just said about the him being a fit for the Trailblazers. It seems like that him and Harkless have a similar skill set, and those are the type of players that Portland a guy that can do a bit of everything. That was Harkless, I would say, and I think Precious has more upside than Mo Harkless did, but I think with the way he can kind of stuff the stat sheet and where he could end up going, I would say Portland would be and Mo Harkless would be a good comparison.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I think that his skill set is similar to Harkless. I think Harkless would be Achiuwa's floor, I would say, because I think he could be better than that. And it goes the same for my NBA comparison was Willie Cauley-Stein. Willie Cauley-Stein's a few inches taller than him, but I think they're similar. Willie Cauley-Stein was a really good dribbler coming out of college. Really more traditional. He blocks shots, he rebounds, doesn't really shoot a ton of jumpers. I loved Willie Cauley-Stein coming out of college. I've been very disappointed by him, but I think they're both traditional big guys. Like I said, Precious is a few inches shorter, but I think he fits in that same kind of big traditional role. So I had Willie Cauley-Stein, and like I mentioned, they're both athletic guys, both can handle the ball. I remember Willie Cauley-Stein struggling a little bit with turnovers at Kentucky, so very similar skill sets there, but I think that's all that I have on Precious. So any other notes that you want to make on him?
No, one interesting thing. I do think that as far as your NBA comparison of Cully's, I do think that Precious has the ability to end up contributing a little bit more on the offensive end. I mean,
I hope so.
I like the comparison, but I think Precious can do a little bit more like offensively than Cully Stein does.
That's
We
for sure.
hope so. Yeah, like you said, Cully Stein's been a disappointment, to say the least.
And I think it goes the same. I still think, and it's similar to what I thought when Willie Cauley was coming out of Kentucky. I think that they have tons of upside. It's just whether or not they can really fulfill their potential. So I think I compare him I'd say he's more like Willie Cauley-Stein coming out than Willie Cauley-Stein in the NBA, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
but
that's a better way to put it.
But I think that's all that we have right now. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be releasing a few of these every single week. So keep your eye out. If you don't already, subscribe to the Fantasy Holics YouTube channel. You can like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at FantasyHolics1. Make sure you check out our new website, thefantasyholics.com. And thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.